Hello and welcome to our Spotlight series. For our Spotlight series today, I'm going to be looking at the saw and the can-can. Now, the saw I'm going to work through to include the fact that it's made up of two main movements, the spine stretch and the spine twist. The spine twist and the spine stretch can both have modified legs. It's not so effective to do this on the saw. If you're worried about the sitting position, you can always sit up on a chair and still do this movement with some effectiveness. Just make sure it's a solid chair, it will help a lot. But if you're able to sit on the floor nice and secure, sitting as tall as you can, so remember not collapsing down, just like we've done with our spine twists and spine stretch movements, as tall as we can, we're going to do the rotation of the spine twist. Now here, if you flex the feet, you're going to get a better anchoring of the pelvis, trying to open the back of the knee towards the mat. In this position here, the arms are going to be out to the side. We're going to keep the arms simplified here, rather than overcomplicating it. But what you're going to actually think about here is you're going to rotate from the rib cage, as always. And when you're in the rotation, then you're going to do a flexion towards the crown of the head going over the foot. Now, as you do this flexion, the front arm leads, the back arm goes behind and turns in on yourself. So it's an internal rotation and reaches back. But the arms shouldn't be your focus. It's still the spine, lengthening away. Now here, as you're doing the movement, I want you to think that as you reach through the crown of the head towards the wall, not down to the floor, your opposite hip, so this one here, is pushing down into the floor and really being helped to be secured through those leg actions. So you're here. This movement is quite strong in the spine. You're going to roll it back out, still in the rotation, and then come back through to the center. The arms come forward to come facing forward, same position as each other at the front of the movement. So we're going to do that again on the other side, but this time we're going to add two breathing options. You're going to rotate on the out, breathe in as you lengthen, and breathe out as you reach. Now here, each side is going to be different. Roll it back up, so you don't hold the reach. That roll back up is going to be in-breath back to the center on the same in-breath. So you're going to come back out a little bit quicker, but still out and to center. So the alternative breath you're going to do is more fluid, and it's one full breath. You're going to breathe out and reach, in, and center. So it's one full breath each side. So that would be the way of working the saw. It's really good for getting into that deep lower back. That's going to take practice and time. The key thing is don't push and don't hold the stress of the movement. Go into it more fluidly with time. Remember your prerequisites, your spine stretch and your spine twist. Now, the can-can is a movement where you're going to hinge back with a long spine. For this movement, you're going to use your hands to stabilize. So I'm going to turn to the front for you to see this. And I want you to find it somewhere on the floor in front of you. See if you can find a mark that was going to be your position for your feet. That should be in line with your pubic bone, the center of your pelvis. Now you're going to bring the knees together, bring the thighs together, bring the feet together. And from this moment forward, think of your 2 feet as one complete foot. With this in place, hinging back, long spine, not collapsed down, you really are lifted out from the base of the spine, not just the rib cage. Here, balancing on the fingertips, not overusing them. I want you to think of the upper body being totally stable and still. You're going to rock the hip off the floor. So one side comes up off the floor. To do that, the knees and feet have to follow. Shoulders do not. There we've got a rotation in the spine. Bring it back through to the center and over to the other side. So there's only one side of the 2 feet lifted on the floor. One side lifted. Come back through to the center. Now, as we go to the other side, this time we can progress the movement. So when you get the feeling that there's a good rotation and there's good control through the rest of the body, you're not transferring the weight, you can add in a single leg action. Knee stays glued together, foot comes back to the same place it started, then the rotation back through. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 distinct pieces to the movement. Now we can do it with both legs. Out, out, in. So you're now in full can-can, but I'm going to refocus on the shoulders. So as you do the movement now, really with the added load, I want you to think that nothing else shifts in the body. You're going to almost not use your hands. Come back to the floor, the same place on the floor, through to the center, and that would be your can-can. The key thing is with the can-can, you can go down onto your elbows. You can take it to this position here to support yourself a little bit more, but the rotation is going to be reduced in the spine. So preferably going to be sitting up. So there's your saw introduction and your can-can.